folks. It's quite cold today. There's a lot of frost on the ground, but I thought we'd take a wee walk down the Mill Dam in Kirkcaldy. Take some photos down there. But while I'm down here, I thought I would tell you the story about my accident. I've always talked about it in every other video. I've always kind of mentioned it, my accident, but I never really went into it. So it was 1995. I was 12 years old, and it was a summer's day, so it wasn't like this. It was raw and warm. I was out playing with my friends, and somebody came up with the idea to I'll take a cycle down to Berridge Park. So I borrowed one of my friend's bikes because my bike was at my auntie's house, and we cycled down. We were playing in the park and having a good time. So we went down the Mill Dam, which is where I'm walking just now, and we were doing jumps off a bump that's down here, and we'll get to the bump and I'll show you it. So we're doing jumps off this lump of ground, and it came to my turn, and cycled from about here. Now, that's the hill that heads down to the Mill Dam. Cycled from around about here down, and I remember the front wheel of the bike getting to the top of the bump, and that's it. It's like pressing pause or stop on a video player. So I don't know exactly what had happened, but from what my friends had told me was the bike had done a somersault, and I ended up lying on the ground next to a tree. So I've no idea. Like I say, I don't know. I was completely unconscious. But my friends, two of them helped me there, gave me first aid on site, put me in the recovery position, checked the airways, etc. Another friend ran and found a doctor. Another friend ran and phoned my mum and dad. But I'd suffered a head injury, bleeding in the brain, swelling and everything like that, and it put me in a coma. I was in a coma for 9 days. The bleeding obviously stopped and the swelling went down, but it was obviously a hellish time in my life. There was a lot of recovery involved in it as well. I mean, I was in and out of hospital, getting tests done on my brain, make sure that the functions were right, my memory was okay. My memory was a bit crap to start with, still kind of is now. Now I've lost all hearing in my right ear, and I had to have an eye operation as well to correct a squint. But those, compared to the kind of mental challenges it left me with, those were minor. It was the mental challenges that were really difficult. I had anger, depression. I still have bouts of depression at the moment. I mean, I think everybody goes through stages, but with me it's a lot of kind of feelings of self-worth, low confidence, things like that. I always had serious problems with them, and still do to a certain extent. Making these videos, it's helped me incredibly. Really kind of boosting confidence, so thanks to everybody who's watching them. I don't know how much of my personality changed as a result of the accident. Because I was 12, I was kind of going through a change at that time anyway, so it's difficult to be able to gauge how much of me was lost, or not lost, but how much of me changed my personality. I certainly don't have any regrets having had my accident. If I hadn't had my accident, then there's a lot of things that wouldn't have happened. I quite possibly could have been a totally different person. So having these problems and learning to have coped with these problems, it's been worth it, I think, in the long run. You know, thinking about the things that I have achieved, the people that I've met. It's not really causing any issues nowadays, anyway. I mean, obviously, I went through a long time through my teenage years where I thought to myself, why did it have to happen to me, and sit in my bedroom and cry at night and things like that. But looking back at it now, it's like, I think to myself, yeah, I had a bike accident. I've learned to cope with it, and here I am now. I would say that having been wearing a helmet, I don't know if it would have actually prevented all injuries, but it certainly wouldn't have done any harm to have been wearing a helmet. I urge everybody to wear a helmet when you're on your bike. Your head is just too important. There's people that have just get a slight knock to the head and it can totally change them. For me, I mean, the accident I went through was really traumatic. It changed the people that I was friends with as well. A lot of them, it took them a long time to cope with what had happened to me. I mean, the friends that were there at the time, I've never talked to them about this because I don't think they actually want to sit down and discuss it. I think for them, they always just wanted to put that behind them and forget about what had happened. And to be honest, I don't blame them. The friends that were there for me and helped me through the later, the early stages after my accident, my friend Scott, Simon, Kevin, they were there for me all throughout it. Never judged me for one moment. Any of the kind of strange behaviour I had as a result of it, it never bothered them at all. And I owe who I am to them. So the accident itself, so I came down the hill, hurtling down here, and around about here, around about that area there was a lump. It kind of still looks like a lump, but it was a lot bigger back then. So I remember the front wheel of the bike getting to the top of this bump, and then it's just nothing. Don't move it anything. So I ended up lying at the bottom of that tree. I think it was either that one or that one. So I was lying there, and I think for what I got told was I had went into started taking a fit. So my friends had given me first aid, made sure I was stable, and then other friends ran up and got ambulance. So the ambulance had come reversing down, took me away to the hospital. The hospital had never dealt with that kind of thing before, so I got shipped to the Western General in Edinburgh. My dad and my uncle had come just as the paramedics had arrived, followed me there. Like I say, the early stages, I don't know, I've just been told the stories of what happened, things like that. I don't actually know. Well, I wasn't awake for the actual moment itself. My earliest memory coming out of the coma, because people always say to me, they say to me, "Did you see the light? The light at the end of the tunnel and all that kind of shite." Fuck off, no. Never seen any light, nothing at all. The good stories that I have from my coma, or coming out of my coma, the initial stages actually coming out of it, was one of my friends, Ryan, knew that I had lost my toy R2D2, and I was upset about it, you know, because it's my favourite Star Wars figure. So Ryan had given my mum his R2-D2 to give to me, and my mum and dad hands me R2-D2. It says, "Do you know what that is?" And I opened my eyes, and I looked, and I went, "Oh, it's R2." And that gave them the kind of indication that I was still there. So they kept badgering at me. You know, they were getting told by the hospital, you know, you need to get him to come out of this coma, you need to get him to react more. And Mum and Dad were playing Freedom, which is my favourite song, still is my favourite song, Freedom by QFX, to me over and over and over again. I was saying, "What song's this? What song's this? What song's this?" And eventually I opened my eyes, and then true Braveheart style, bear in mind I hadn't even seen Braveheart yet, opened my eyes, and it says "Freedom," and that was it. I was slowly started to regain consciousness, you know, more on more occasions, and that was the beginning of my recovery. So the early stages of actual unconsciousness, consciousness in me. I remember my dad, he'd take me to the toilet when I was up in Mobile, and we'd be walking back to the hospital room, and to get me to try and start remembering things, because my short-term memory was away, to get me to start remembering things, they would say to me, like, they'd try to get me, they'd say, what room are you in? Remember, you're in the room with the ducks. So, like, we'll go to the toilet and come back, and they say, "What room are you in?" "The one with the ducks." And that was it. I would start remembering that kind of thing, you know. So I don't know, like I say, I don't know every story, everything that they did, because my head was like a sieve, you know. The memories would go in, or the information would go in, and then I'd just forget, you know, 20 minutes later. I remember my friend Kevin bringing his micro machines down, and I think we were at the stage where I was starting to kind of grow out of that kind of thing, but still he brought them down, and I remember I'm sitting playing with them. My friend Scott coming down, I remember him coming to the hospital a lot, spending a lot of time with me as well. And Chris, I remember Christopher coming to the house with his Game Boy games, sit and play Game Boy. But first went back to school, I had a lot of frustration problems, because I'm still learning to cope with these changes that had happened to me. I wasn't allowed out in the playground initially with the rest of the kids. The school feared that I might hurt myself again, so they would keep me in during interval and lunchtime. They'd keep me in a classroom, and I would spend my lunchtimes with Duffy and Scott. So again, thanks to them for keeping company. I had a lot of, like I said before, anger issues. I remember flipping out once when a teacher had called me deaf, or had asked me if I was deaf. I remember flipping out and shouting, and then I got told later on that it was more than just shouting. I had actually pinned the teacher against the wall. But I had no recollection of that at all. It's cold. So slowly start to kind of regain consciousness, and you know, start to confidence, and start to make more friends again and things like that. The One of the things that gave me a lot of confidence was going to the Kirkcaldy Youth Music Theatre, and meeting new people through that. And it was probably around about that stage where the head injury started to kind of take a back burner. Because people didn't know me before my head injury. To them, I was just this was me. I was that guy, And to this day, I mean, if I say to people that I had a head injury when I was 12, I was in a coma, and that I've got these kind of issues, people wouldn't even realise it. Oh, I never thought anything about that. Well, yeah, so I mean, to this day, I still have, like, I find it difficult being able to gauge people's there's memory problems there. It's empathy, like when you're able to gauge what people are actually meaning. So they'll say something, and they maybe mean it as a joke, but I'm not able to pick up whether they're saying it as a joke or not. So I take offence to what they say, but then it turns out no, they didn't mean it like that. So a lot of my friends kind of know that, so they'll say a joke, but then they'll nudge me, or they'll nod, or they'll wink or something like that, and then that always kind of let me know, they're just take the piss. So people that don't know me don't realise that. So I've learned to kind of cope with it now. I've learned just to kind of go, ignore it. Who are they? If it's not somebody that I don't particularly know, then who cares what they say? I have confidence. Still have confidence issues. I feel that I've built myself up so much that if I risk losing what I've built up, or that I could, I overthink things. I think to myself, if I do that, what's the consequences of this? Rather than just think to myself, just go for it, just try. I think, well, what if it goes wrong? What if this happens? What if that happens? And then because that happens, I end up not doing it. And then I end up regretting that I didn't take that chance, things like that. So that's one of the kind of barriers that I've always had for the last 20 years, since my bike accident, is that because of these confidence issues, I feel like I've missed out on a lot of things. So I'm now trying to put that behind me now, by making these videos, by going out exploring, by doing things, by meeting people, and hopefully this kind of opens up a new kind of lease of life into my personality, take that forward. So I'm down at the Mill Dam now, so what we'll do is we'll turn the camera around, and we'll go and take some pictures down there. This is a Mill Dam. We've been here a long time. Now we need to do a bit of research into. I mean, obviously it was a mill dam, but don't know who owned the mill. Don't know what it was, what it was used for and whatnot. There's not a lot of structure to it. I mean, it is basically just brickwork. There's no any, rooms or anything like that, but It's just always kind of been here. So people go for walks and take a walk down the pathway that leads down to Balweary High School from the park. And obviously, as you can see, kids have been playing down here. People taking their dogs down for walks, things like that. Whoa, splosh. Like I say, I mean, I know, I already knew there wasn't a lot down here. You know, there's not really kind of any exploring as such, but I thought it kind of would make a nice wee ending to my video. Just to show how kind of tranquil the place is. That, you know, you come down. Okay, it's not the nicest, the nicest of rivers. I mean, there's a bike over there, and I'm sure at one point there was a trolley in here. But in the summer, it's quite nice. It's nice to come down here. So, as I said, I knew that down here there wasn't really a lot to explore as such. But I hope I've maybe given an insight to people who are going through their own problems as a result of a head injury. I hope it gives them an insight to, you know, the fact that your life can, you know, can return to a level of normality. I mean, okay, you'll never be the person that you were before, but you can live your life and enjoy your life. You just got to hang on in there, and you'll make it eventually. So hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you later.